dog. I think that struck a note with most of them, yeah. So, this is the other one I wanted to have. Qalb, which is heart in Arabic. There are some Egyptian equivalents to that. I didn't put them up here. There's a couple of cognates that are related directly to that. In the Sumerian text, known as the Descent of Inanna, one of the more ancient texts from the Middle East, the goddess Inanna goes down into the underworld to free her husband Dumuzi, who is the god who brings rain during the season of rain. And on the way back to heaven, she stops at a place called Kulab, which is designated as a tree of some sort. We don't know why this happens there, but there Dumuzi gets to sit on his throne and puts on his royal apparel, which he has not been wearing while he's been imprisoned. The term Olea is used to denote the moon in Abraham 3:13. It resembles the Hebrew term Yareach, which is just one of two words meaning moon or month. Even in English, month comes from the word moon, by the way, as does Monday, Moon's Day. The Egyptian word for moon is Ya, which is cognate to the Semitic term. In fact, similarly to figure 1, the moon's name is given differently, however. It's called Floese, or however you pronounce that, Flois. I'm not sure. This name is similar to the Kli Flos Ises that we find in some of the Kirtland Egyptian papers. Kli makes a lot of sense. Kli is a good Hebrew word. It means a vessel in the sense of a plate or bowl or even spoon, or a tool of any kind, a hammer or whatever, can be that. And the word looks like it's finishing in the name of the Greek goddess, or the Greek form, I should say, of the Egyptian goddess Isis. And I have no clue what flos is supposed to mean, unless any dentist here could explain that to us. The second one as well, I don't have a clue on that one, but we've got some starts here, so somebody research that one, okay, give us a report next year. Shinnah is an interesting one. Abraham 3:13 calls the son Shinnah, which seems to be related to the Hebrew word shana, which means year. The year is defined by the annual circuit of the earth about the sun, and to the ancients was determined by where the sun rose each day during the year. The Semitic verbal form means to change, that is to change seasons and other changes, or to repeat, and is the source of the numeral 2, because you start over. Once you finish the cycle, you start it over again, so there's a second cycle. The Egyptian cognate is the verb sheni, which is to encircle, to enclose, or surround, and the noun from that is shanu, which means circuit or circumference. From this also we get the name of the ring, shen, which is depicted with the little, I don't think I did that one up there, did I? Nope, I didn't. Sorry, you won't see that one. Hugh Nibley, followed by Robert F. Smith and Kerry Schertz, have suggested that the name Shinnah derives from the Egyptian term plus the Egyptian word chech or nechech, meaning eternity or eternal. And so that would be then the eternal circuit, or as Nibley put it, one eternal round, which book we hope to see soon. Yane Shodal suggested that the name Olaha Shinnah, mentioned in Doctrine and Covenants section 117.8 from July 8, 1838, is related to the terms for moon, Olea, which we saw a moment ago, and Shinnah for the sun. These were used as code words in early days of the church, beginning with the first Doctrine and Covenants in 1835. There are several other terms that are related to the sun in the Book of Abraham materials, and I just don't have time to go into all of those, and they're not as certain as some of these that I'm looking at. The explanation of facsimile 2, figure 12 reads, and I'm going to pronounce this correctly, Rakia, not Raukiyang. The spelling there came from Joseph Smith's association with his Hebrew teacher, Joshua Seixas, who transliterated things in this way, but anybody who knows that transliteration method knows how the Hebrew word is actually spelled. Anyways, the explanation reads, ancie, signifying expanse or firmament over our heads. But in this case, in relation to this subject, the Egyptians meant it to signify shama, to be high or the heavens, answering to the Hebrew word shamayim, which is a dual form, two heavens. This Hebrew word, rakia, does in fact mean expanse. We get the term firmament by a mistake that was made by St. Jerome when he was translating the Bible into Latin, and he spelled it he translated firmamentum, and so it came across that way in later times too. It's true that the verb raka can mean to hammer out a sheet of metal like gold and make it a thin sheet, but it can mean actually to expand in other ways as well. The normal Hebrew word for heaven or sky is actually a dual form, shamayim, which Joseph Smith here translated, as you can see up at the very top in the yellow. The Arabic cognate is in the singular. It's sama, as is the Akkadian shamu. It's in the singular. Hebrew is the only one that has it in this dual, as far as I know. Mitchell Dahoud, a very well-known scholar now deceased from the Pontifical Biblical Institute, probably the only Arab who ever was associated with that group, actually proposed that for Psalm 68:4, that instead of reading Shemo, which would mean his name, the word should read Shamau, which would be the heaven in a singular form. I used to have this picture that you see in the background on my computer, and they were all coming right at you, you know, like Captain Kirk's ship going through all those stars. And I had this floating message that would go all around my screen and make it look kind of mysterious, and it said, "To boldly go where no man and only one or two women have ever gone before." Abraham 3:13 defines kochav, which is the correct Hebrew pronunciation, as star, and kochavim as stars, or all the great lights which were in the firmament of heaven. When first published in the Times and Seasons, the passage read kolab in error. They'd written kolab so many times that the typesetter thought that's what belonged here. The manuscripts, however, have kochav corresponding to the Hebrew word that we have written here, and denotes in the one the singular and the other in the plural. The plural is also found two other times in the book of Abraham, and it's called in facsimile 2 figure 5, and also Abraham 3:16. It lists ha-kokhavim, or ha-kochavim in Hebrew, the correct pronunciation. The ha means the, so it's the stars. Lundquist noted that one of the deities in Daimil's list was Kachov, meaning star. Similar, Kakab is the name of one of the gods mentioned in the Ebla records discovered in northwestern Syria. Kavanrash, that's an interesting one. I'm still scratching my head over parts of this. Facsimile number 2, figure 5, we read about Kavanrash, which is the grand key, or in other words, the governing power which governs 15 other fixed planets or stars, as also Ploiase, the moon, the earth, and the sun in their annual revolutions. The element Ka may here be the Egyptian word Ka, which we saw earlier, meaning spirit. And the element Rash at the end looks very much to me like it's the Semitic term. In Hebrew, Rosh, but in Arabic, Rash and Ra'ash, or rather not Rash, or Ras and Ra'as. It doesn't have the sh, it has a s sound for the cognates in Arabic. And that word means head or chief. And so I'm suspecting that that's what's going on here. Now, if I can only figure out what this is in the middle, so if any of you have suggestions, send me email.